LFA. For both Nico and Jason, I'm curious both of your perspectives on this. You mentioned Luka Doncic obviously is the linchpin to everything here in Dallas. What do you like about what he does? What do you think is maybe his biggest weakness? And then what do you think needs to pair with him to take this team to the next level? What are you looking for in that second person?
My answer is real short. I love everything. But it's not a negative. He's only 22 years old. And so for the leadership group that's up here, it's our job to help, share our experiences in life that can help him be a better player, but also a better person. And so I don't know if that's a negative, but I think just the age, because he can do everything else at a very high level. And so my job is to give him the answers to the test, and his job is to execute that on the floor. And so he does that at a very high level, not just with the Mavs, but with also his national team. And so I think we're all excited to have this opportunity to be around him.
Yeah, and I'll add, it's tough to nitpick with an All-NBA player. So the best thing you can do is surround him by a Hall of Fame coach that played his position, and let those two vibe off each other. And I think that's going to help him tremendously.
Questions for Jason. Welcome back, first and foremost. Jason, good to see you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, have you had any conversations with Luka? And if so, how have those conversations gone? And secondly, you talked about all the great things that Luka does. What more would you like to see in his progression moving forward?
To answer your first question, yes, we've talked by phone, but there's also a new way to conversate, and that's by text for the younger generation that as us older guys or older people are trying to figure out. But no, I've talked to Luka. It was a great conversation. He's excited. Again, he's focused on his national team, and what he did was incredible. So to answer your second question, I have to wait until I can look under the hood. I've been I've been on the back row right now watching it on TV, and so I want to be able to touch the car. And the more I can spend time with him, then I can answer that question. But from afar, it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's poetry in motion. If you look back at when Dirk started, he's probably a little bit more advanced than what Dirk can do at 21, 22 years old. But Dirk did finish as a Hall of Famer, and I think Luka has that same aspirations, to be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day.
Dwayne Price, Mavs.com. Jason, when you first got here in 1994, I remember fans saying they couldn't wait to come to the game because they were going to see something that you did that they'd never seen before. Fast forward over 20 years later, they're saying the same thing about Luka. How much of yourself do you see in Luka?
Great question, Dwayne. In '94, there was no HD, so the things they saw were probably amazing because they didn't get to see them. Today we have 10K, 12K, so everything is clear. But Luka is special. Again, we talk about his age at 22 years old, and he's been a pro for a while. But we can always get better, and I think his appetite is big. And I've been around stars like that in Milwaukee, in LA, also in Brooklyn. But it's just now that you can see things clearer, his imagination is at the highest level, which is a great thing to be a part of. My imagination, again, because things were grainy and they weren't clear, I tried a lot of things, and I know I drove my coaches crazy, but I think he still has that, that flair, that ability to try something. I won't get mad because I've been in those shoes. So just to understand, my job is to help give him the answers so he can have success and take a lot of that pressure off of him.
How do you go about doing that, whether that's addressing the roster this summer or, something you can do coaching-wise?
Yeah, I think when you look at the numbers, he has the ball a lot, and he is a special player when he does have the ball. But, as we continue through this summer and this process of getting to know each other, I will throw him some different questions to get his opinion, on playing without the ball. not having to bring the ball up every time and start the play, playing, getting him on the second side, because when you look, at the fourth quarter, he wears down at times, not all the time, but he can wear down, and we all have turned the ball over, in an important part of the game. But my job is to put him in a position to be successful. Sometimes we can take for granted he is 22 and feel like he's, not going to get tired. But there is a longevity to this piece, too, in that we want him to play, for a long time.